Today's lesson 3.6, our objective is to identify functions. Before we can do this, I need you to get some key vocabulary. The first vocabulary word is relation. A relation is just a set of ordered pairs. For example, -3, 5, -2, 4, -1, 3. That's a set of ordered pairs and is a relation. The next vocabulary word is function. A function is where a relation, each input, has exactly one output. Now, for me, to understand that better, I just realized that the x values, the inputs, cannot repeat. It doesn't matter if the y values repeat. It only matters if the x values repeat. As long as the x values do not repeat, then the relation is a function. We'll talk more about this later. Next is domain. The domain of a relation is just the set of x values. So in our relation above, the domain would be -3, -2, and -1, since those are the x values. You also need to know the word range. Range is the set of y values, or the output of the relation. In our example above, 5, 4, and 3 would be the range of that relation. Now let's go on to the examples in this homework. Number 1 of your homework says find the domain and range of the given relation. The relation is the set of ordered pairs -8, 8, 2, 1, -9, -4, and -4, -9. Remember that the domain is just the x values in this relation. So that would be -8, 2, -9, and -4. And I'll write those separating them using commas. So the domain of this relation is -8, 2, -9, and -4. The range is the set of y values. So in this relation, the range is 8, 1, -4, and -9. I'll write those separating them using commas. So the range again is 8, 1, -4, and -9. You try number 1 and 2 in your homework and then go to the next example. You can pause this video. In problem 3 on your homework, the question says determine if the given relation is also a function. Is the relation a function? The relation is -8, -7, 8, 5, -5, -9, and 3, 0. We want to know if this is a function. Remember in our definition of function that our hint was just to look at the x values, or the inputs, or the domain, and as long as those don't repeat, then it is a function. So this one is a function. You try number 3 and 4 on your homework, and pause the video, and then come back to do number 5. Number 5 says determine whether the graph on the right is the graph of a function. Remember that the x values cannot repeat. So one easy test is called a vertical line test. Because remember, if we draw a vertical line, the x value will be the same. And if anywhere on our vertical line, 2 of the points cross our vertical line, then that means it's not a function. So this point, the value of that is -1, 2. And the value of the point below that is -1, -1. So we can see that the x value does repeat. So this is not a function. In problem 10 in your homework, given the following function, find f of -2, f of 0, and f of 3. Now don't let this notation f of x scare you. F of x is the same thing as y. So it's just like y equals 3x minus 1. F of x is just function notation for y. So it's the same thing. And it tells us up here what to substitute in place of x. The first time we're going to substitute -2 in place of x. So we'll do 3 times -2 minus 1. 3 times -2 is -6, and -6 minus 1 is -7. So f of -2 is equal to negative 7. We'll follow the same procedure for f of 0 and f of 3. We'll use our same equation, f of x equals 3x minus 1, but this time we'll substitute 0 in place of x. So the function of 0, or y, will equal 3 times 0 minus 1. And 3 times 0 is 0, and 0 minus 1 is negative 1. I think you get the idea, so I'm not going to finish this problem. You try 10 through 14, and I'll be back with you on number 15. In number 15, the question says, if f of 2 is equal to 8, write a corresponding ordered pair solution. What is the corresponding ordered pair? Well, remember that f of 2 was originally f of x was equal to some equation. So it looks like they've replaced the x with 2, and when whatever equation they replaced that in, the y value was 8. So the corresponding ordered pair for this is 2, 8. You try 15 and 16, pause the video, and then click on number 17. Number 17 says, find the coordinates of the point of intersection. The point of intersection is, well, the point of intersection is where the two lines cross, or it's the common solution that those two lines have. Well, these two lines have a common solution of 3, negative 4. If we knew both the equations for these lines, which we don't have to write those, they would both have 3, negative 4 as one of their solutions. So the point of intersection, the common solution that these two lines have, is 3, negative 4. You go ahead and finish out your homework. That's all the examples that I'll be doing today. If you need help, raise your hand and I'll help.